Hey guys, we're back in the workshop. It's getting colder, but we're still grinding on. And today I wanted to show you how I sharpen my knives, a little bit more in-depth video on how I do it. So let's get started with that. So the first step is I'm going to tape up the knife. Already done the first side, and now we're going to use another layer of tape. Just put it on here, and that is just so I protect the knife from a couple of steps that I'm going to do while sharpening. And I'm just going to use an X-Acto blade and just going to cut right along here, just so the edge is free and it doesn't bother us right here. You have to be a little bit careful because this knife is cerakoted, so you don't want to scratch around with that knife on that coating. And also make a little slice right here so you know where the sharpening notch is and I don't grind into that ricasso area right here. And also I'm going to take just a little bit off from here so the tip is free. So now we are at my sharpening station, and as you can see, I've got plenty of Tormeks right here. These are the T4 models, and when you're sharpening and you want to get a Tormek, you don't have to get 4 machines. It's just, for me, a little bit easier and faster when I can just take out that jig, put it in here, instead of changing out the stone for each knife. And the cool thing is I have these CBN wheels on here. They cut fantastically. I've got a 160 grit right here to set the bevel. Then I've got a 400 grit to refine that bevel. And then I have 1000 grit stone right here, which also cuts really nice. And then I have a leather stropping wheel on here, which has the same size as these wheels, which is also nice when you're using that jig. But I've changed my method, so I'm not using that leather wheel at the moment, but I will show you my method of deburring that knife later on. So normally the Tormek comes with this SG200 stone, which has like a 200 grit and then 1000 grit. You can change that grit. I started using them in the beginning, and they are nice when you're just sharpening sometimes and not that often. But you can see here is one of the used stones. Same stone. Like the size difference, they change quite a lot, and because you have to flatten them out once in a while, and they just use up after a while. So that's not really well, especially when you want to hold the same angle and the wheels are changing, and then you have like different grids, and then each stone is different, so that is kind of iffy. And then I've used these DC 200s, which are from Tormek, the diamond stone ones, but I've used them now for like 2 years, and they've ground like, or sharpened over 1000 knives, and well, they're beaten up now, I would say. So I've got these from Schleifjunkie, which is a German company, and he makes these CBM wheels, which cut fantastically. I would also say they cut better than the Tormek ones, and I'm pretty in love with them for now. I have them now for like 2 months, and I'm much faster now with the sharpening. So enough talking, let's get to sharpening. So I start off with the 160 grit, and a nice thing also is the Tormek has a water cooling system, so you just have a jug of water in here, and then you can see that the stone is getting covered with water. So we are grinding really cool, which is important because we don't want to overheat the edge and ruining our heat treat. So that's why I also like the Tormek a lot, because it keeps us safe from overheating the edge. And then I have this clamp right here, and now you can see also why I'm using that tape. And then you can put it on there and then just screw it shut, and then we can start sharpening. So now I can take that jig from the other machine and put it onto this machine, screw it shut, and now we have the same angle. And with these CBN stones or diamond stones, you don't want to put too much pressure on these. They don't work with pressure, because you could damage those stones if you put too much pressure on it, because these stones are coated and you don't want to rip off that coating. And now we just have to refine that edge, and you also want to feel for that burr, and we have now a really fine burr on here. You really feel it when you go over here with your thumb. Be careful because the edge is already kind of sharp, so you just want to make downward movements just like that, and you can feel that burr all along the edge up to the tip. So now we just have to refine that edge. So now we are done with the 400 grit stone, and now I'm going to move to the 1000 grit stone. And because these wheels, they cut fantastically, we just have to do a couple of passes on each side, and then the edge is ready to be deburred. So now we have the knife and we have a burr on it. So the knife is nearly sharp, but I've got a piece of paper here and you can see that the knife is still like grabby and it doesn't cut really cleanly. So we have to get rid of the burr. And I'm using a buffing machine, also known as the Widowmaker. If you're not comfortable with that, please use like a leather strap, anything like that. For me, I just get really good results with that. But please keep that in mind. That machine is dangerous. You don't want that machine catches that tip and chucks the knife out of your hand. So you have to be really comfortable with that machine. So be warned, don't take that lightly, that machine. I just use it because it's really fast, but please keep that in mind. And if you're just sharpening a couple of knives, just take a deburring leather, whatever. But for me, I get really great results. So please be warned. So let's get onto the buffing wheel and get that knife to its final sharpness. And that is also another reason why I have taped up the knife, because you can mess up the finish with the buffing wheel right here, and we don't want to have that to happen. So let's see if the knife is sharp. And you can see how cleanly it goes through the paper, and it will go even nicer through the paper when all the tape is gone. So the knife is now sharp and I'm pretty happy. And I also tested on all the spots of the knife on the tip right there and just put it through, and it is really, really sharp. And I'm pretty happy with that. So the knife is done and the camera is in a shit angle again. Let's do it like that. All right. So the knife is now sharpened up and is ready to be assembled and then be shipped out. I hope you guys enjoyed this little brief video. Fuck me. Fuck me. So the knife is done and it is ready to be assembled and then shipped out to its new customer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how I sharpened my knives, and maybe you can take some tips from that and apply it in your own workshop. So if you want to see more videos like that, just hit that subscribe button, hit a like, comment down below if you have any questions, of course. And if you want to get a knife from me built, then you can also hit up my website, is also down below. And if you want to see more knife pictures and all that kind of stuff, Instagram is also down below. Guys, I have nothing more to say, and we'll see us in the next episode. Goodbye.